Alright, so we keep getting questions about mantle jumps, so I guess I'll just like make a guide, even though there's a billion guides that will probably be better than this, but yeah. Anyways, so this is what a mantle jump is. That was kind of late one, but yeah, that's what a mantle jump is. Basically, it involves a mantle, and it involves a super jump. All you're doing is combining this together so you can do it before you have to like climb all the way up a platform. So on this frame right here, if you mantle a ledge and you see the floor looking like this, anything after this frame, you can mantle jump off of, no problem. If you do it before this frame, you might have some issues, and I'll show you guys why later. But this is about the frame that you're gonna look for, and there's kind of two ways you want to do it. So I like to break it into two steps, where it's like when you're learning, break it into two steps so it's easier to learn. One's the mantle cancel. So you're canceling your mantle, which is just pressing S from this position. And then the other is the super jump. And when you combine those, you can get the mantle jump. So mantle cancel, and then you look up, super jump. Now, you want to be able to look up and down when you do these, so it's good to practice both. But basically what I do is I start a climb up, and then during my climb up, as soon as I see that frame where it looks like this, then I cancel it with my S input and will super jump. So climb up, cancel, super jump, easy. And if you look down, you can do the exact same thing. So what I just did there was actually by accident, but that's what happens if you do it before that frame. It's what can happen if you do it before you see this and then you do it. You'll go straight up, which has some cool combinations, and Ginge on Twitter @Ginge has shown some cool combinations where you can do that straight onto these and super glide off. It's pretty cool, and it's actually useful on some points of the map. But if you want like a normal one, then anything after that frame will give you like a normal one. The reason you'd look up as opposed to looking down is because you'd get a lot more height. But looking down is still fine, and looking down is good for any building with a roof. So if there's like a roof above you, like streamer building for example, would be one of the harder mantle jumps on the map. And your timings can change because of that, but looking down is necessary so you don't hit your head on the ceiling. Because if you look up, you're just gonna like slam your face against an elevator door, and it's not gonna be comfy. But yeah, now some information on why mantle jumps might work, and I'm gonna oversimplify it a lot, but we'll go into a little bit of the code reason of why mantle jumping may work, right? So first of all, your super jumps, pairing it with this, they require one thing, and they require you to be on the ground. You can't super jump if your character isn't grounded, right? Now, when I say grounded, I'm referring to a variable that they use in a lot of games, whether it be a 2D platformer or a FPS shooter. And basically, if grounded is true, can jump. So imagine there's something on your feet at all times that tells you if grounded is true, you can jump. Now when you jump, it sets grounded to false because you're in the air. Now there are exceptions to this, like coyote time for example. Your grounded is still true even after you step off a ledge for about 0.2 seconds, which means you can still jump, which lets us do interesting like wall jumps and stuff off of a ledge. And you'll see people slide off and then jump back on. That has to do with the grounded variable having coyote time, which is basically like 0.2 seconds-ish, somewhere around there, of time where that variable is still true. Now the interesting thing is when you're on this, when you're on a zip, and say you try and super jump off just from a wall run, it won't work because you're not grounded. You haven't touched the ground. But as soon as you mantle this ledge, your hands being grounded, that's your hitbox on the ground. So your character's state is considered grounded equals true. When grounded is true, you can super jump. So on the mantle, now you're in coyote time, you have that 0.2 seconds to really super jump. And it might be a little less than 0.2 honestly, but that's also another thing that allows you to do different timings on the super jumps, like a later one that will get you straight up like that, where that one might get you through a small window in an elevator or like a shaft or something. But that's some of the information, and that might help you understand kind of why it works and be able to do them a little bit more consistently. The best way to practice is by far just doing the mantle jump maps. If you can make it through either the easy mantle jump map in R5 or the hard one, you will never struggle. You will never struggle with mantle jumps again. What most people do is they just practice it, do it every time you're on a zip. If you're on a zip, go fail a mantle jump. Eventually you'll stop failing them. Like I promised, they're not that hard, and it just takes a bit for your brain to wrap around, but you got it. Trust me. What do we say here? Alright, end of video things, I guess. So, not going into that much depth, but like if you like the guide, and I know there's a billion better guides out there, like I definitely recommend just YouTubing like other guides if you're still struggling. But yeah, if you like this style of content, let me know. Hit a like or whatever, and hopefully we'll do more like little tutorials of just small things that people might not know. We got a lot of tricks, so yeah, goodbye.